Howdy and welcome to Fun Fact Trivia. Can you guess these famous faces in history? From history-changing leaders to entertainment legends, test your knowledge of some of the famous faces in history with this quick and fun quiz. Play along and see how many you can identify. Do you know this famous face? Albert Einstein, theoretical physicist who developed the theory of relativity. Mother Teresa, she dedicated her life to helping the poor. Who is this guy? Crikey, it's Steve Irwin, the crocodile hunter who wrestled with reptiles and won over hearts around the globe. Anne Frank, the young diarist whose words gave the world a window into the horrors of war. Walt Disney, the man who turned a mouse into an empire. Amelia Earhart, the daring aviator who flew into history and then, sadly, into legend. Gandhi, known for nonviolence, fasting, and being so peaceful he could win arguments by not saying a word. Andy Warhol, the pop artist who made soup cans and Marilyn Monroe into cultural icons. Marie Curie, the scientist who discovered radioactivity and made Nobel Prizes a family affair. She practically glowed with brilliance and a bit of radium. He looks rather young here. Winston Churchill, British Prime Minister, legendary orator, and the man who made cigars and bulldog determination part of his brand during World War II. Pablo Picasso, the cubist who made us rethink faces, figures, and reality itself. Lucille Ball, comedy queen and TV trailblazer who made people laugh so hard with her antics. Nikola Tesla, the eccentric inventor who was so ahead of his time, we're still catching up. Ronald Reagan, actor turned president who brought a Hollywood flair to politics. Nelson Mandela, anti-apartheid revolutionary and the ultimate comeback kid, going from prison cell to president. You know this one. Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll whose swiveling hips caused a national scandal. Charlie Chaplin, silent film legend, the man who didn't need words to make you laugh. Alexander Fleming, discovered penicillin and accidentally became the guy who saved millions of lives by forgetting to clean up after an experiment. Novelist Charles Dickens, who wrote greats such as A Christmas Carol, Oliver Twist, Great Expectations, and many more. Stephen Hawking, the theoretical physicist who explained black holes, time, and the universe to the world, all while living with ALS. Steve Jobs, co-founder of Apple. Margaret Thatcher, the Iron Lady who ruled with an iron fist and a sharp tongue. Al Capone, infamous gangster with a love for flashy suits, illicit booze, and tax evasion. Agatha Christie, English crime writer whose twisty murder mysteries kept readers guessing. You got this one. Martin Luther King Jr., civil rights leader with a dream that shook a nation awake. John Wayne, the cowboy who ruled the silver screen, bringing swagger and grit to the Wild West. Queen Elizabeth II, who reigned for 70 years and 214 days. Louis Armstrong, trumpet virtuoso and jazz legend. Sidney Poitier, Hollywood trailblazer and class act. Poitier opened doors for black actors and looked impeccable while doing it. Karl Marx, the philosopher who sparked revolutions with his theory that workers of the world should unite. Eva Perón, Argentina's beloved Evita, who rose from poverty to become a national hero. Who is this handsome young man? Jim Morrison, the Doors frontman with a voice as dark as his poetry. Martina Navratilova, tennis powerhouse who redefined dominance on the court. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, the notorious RBG. Enzo Ferrari, the man who turned sleek fast cars into works of art. Fidel Castro, the cigar-chomping revolutionary who turned Cuba upside down and held on to power like it was his favorite baseball glove. Jesse Owens, the track star who won 4 gold medals at the 1936 Summer Olympics. Does this guy look familiar? Michael Jackson, the king of pop who moonwalked his way into the hearts of millions. George Orwell, the author who warned us all about Big Brother and totalitarianism. Yuri Gagarin, the first human to orbit the Earth, proving that the sky really wasn't the limit. Salvador Dali, the mustachioed surrealist who painted melting clocks and made weirdness his brand. James Earl Jones, the voice so deep and commanding it practically shook the earth. Bruce Lee, the martial arts legend who kicked down barriers and a lot of bad guys in movies like Enter the Dragon. Who's this little cutie? Shirley Temple, the Hollywood child star with the curls who later became a diplomat. Harry Houdini, the escape artist so skilled, he could probably get out of a straitjacket in his sleep. Charles de Gaulle, tall, imposing, and never one to mince words. Mikhail Gorbachev, the Soviet leader who tore down walls, both metaphorical and literal. Oscar Wilde, the playwright and poet who taught us the importance of being witty, fashionable, and scandalous. Theodore Seuss Geisel, better known as Dr. Seuss, he's the man who made rhymes as fun as they are meaningful. Shane Warne, spin bowling magician whose wrist action made cricket balls do the impossible. Penny Marshall, actress-director and the woman who made us laugh as Laverne DeFazio in Laverne and Shirley. Do you know this guy with the cool mo? Franz Ferdinand, Archduke whose assassination sparked World War I. Benjamin Franklin, founding father, inventor, and guy who convinced us that flying a kite in a storm was a good idea. Rosa Parks, the quiet but fierce force behind the Montgomery bus boycott. Rosa sat down so that millions could stand up for civil rights. Clark Gable, Hollywood's leading man with that unforgettable mustache and suave charm. Frankly, he didn't give a damn, and that's why we loved him. Angela Merkel, the cool-headed chancellor who kept Germany and much of Europe on track for nearly 2 decades. Orville Wright, one half of the Wright brothers. Orville took to the skies and proved that humans were meant to fly. Jane Goodall, the primatologist who went bananas for chimpanzees. Who could this fella be? Louis Pasteur, the man who made milk safe to drink and rabies a thing of the past. Frida Kahlo, the Mexican artist known for her self-portraits and unibrow. Henry Ford, the man who put the world on wheels with the Model T and the assembly line. Diana, Princess of Wales, the people's princess whose compassion, style, and grace made her beloved by millions. Florence Nightingale, the lady with the lamp who practically invented modern nursing. Jacques Cousteau, the man who made the underwater world as familiar as your backyard. Do you know this famous face? Janis Joplin, the raspy-voiced rock queen who sang with more soul than most people could ever dream of. Sigmund Freud, the father of psychoanalysis, who made us all wonder about our dreams. Joseph Lister, the surgeon who made hand-washing trendy and life-saving in the medical world. Tenzin Gyatso, 14th Dalai Lama, the spiritual leader with a heart as big as the Himalayas and a smile that could melt snow. Thomas Edison, the inventor who lit up the world, literally, with the electric light bulb. Eleanor Roosevelt, First Lady, diplomat, and all-around powerhouse. Idi Amin, Ugandan dictator who ruled with an iron fist and more than a touch of madness. Annie Oakley, the sharpshooting sensation who could outshoot just about anyone. Queen Victoria, the monarch who ruled over an empire where the sun never set. Can you put a name to this famous face? Alexander Graham Bell, the inventor who gave the world the telephone. Neil Armstrong, supposedly the first man to walk on the moon. Malcolm X, civil rights leader. Yoko Ono, the artist and musician who captured John Lennon's heart. Ralph Lauren, the fashion designer who made polo shirts a status symbol. Bob Marley, the reggae legend who spread peace, love, and good vibes around the world, one dreadlock at a time. Angela Lansbury, whose acting career spanned 80 years. Rudyard Kipling, the man who taught us about tigers, jungles, and imperialism through the Jungle Book. Bing Crosby, the crooner whose smooth voice made White Christmas the ultimate holiday tune. Che Guevara, the revolutionary icon. You know this one. James Stewart, the all-American actor. Lewis Carroll, the author who took us all down the rabbit hole with Alice in Wonderland. Christiaan Barnard, the surgeon who performed the world's first successful heart transplant. Olivia Newton-John, the Aussie singer and actress. Coco Chanel, the fashion revolutionary who gave the world the little black dress. Indira Gandhi, the first and only female Prime Minister of India. Deaf, blind, and unstoppable, Helen Keller. Is this a familiar face? Mao Zedong, revolutionary leader who reshaped China and led the Cultural Revolution. Aristotle Onassis, Greek shipping magnate. Giorgio Armani, the Italian designer who made sharp suits look even sharper. Oskar Schindler, the businessman who risked it all to save over 1,000 Jews during the Holocaust. Jacinda Ardern, former New Zealand Prime Minister. Hulk Hogan, the wrestling icon. Yasser Arafat. His name is forever linked to the complex quest for peace in the Middle East. Evil Ken Evil, the American daredevil. Alfred Bernhard Nobel, a man who went from explosive beginnings to handing out awards for peace. And finally, who is famous Face 100? Greg Norman, the great white shark of golf who attacked courses with ferocity and style. How many famous faces from history were you able to identify? Let me know your score in the comments.